Welcome to the Marketing Smarts live show by MarketingProfs and the Marketing Smarts podcast, where we dive into B2B news, resources, valuable guest content, and much, much more each and every week. If you're a B2B marketer looking for a place to learn, keep up to date, and have some fun along the way, well, grab a beverage, a notepad, or at least some style of writing utensil, and welcome to the show. Hello to all my Marketing Smarts live viewers today. I'm super excited to bring you episode 38 of the Marketing Smarts live show. This week's topic is all about developing a content and social media strategy to foster thought leadership and business growth. So if you're ready to get your learn on, buckle up and let's get ready to rock and roll. I'm your boy, George B. Thomas, speaker, trainer, catalyst, and the host of this here show, the Marketing Smarts live show, as well as the Marketing Smarts podcast found on your favorite podcast app. Our guest clips today are brought to you by none other than the fabulous Ashley Faus. Ashley Faus is a marketer, writer, and speaker by day, and singer, actor, and fitness fiend by night. Her work has been featured in Time, Forbes, and the Journal of Brand Strategy, and she shared insights with audiences at Harvard Business Review, Inbound, and MarketingProfs. Also, the B2B Forum and Inbound are coming up. Anyway, B2B Forum, you should definitely check that out. October 4th. Go to the website, get your tickets. Hopefully I see you there. Anyway, Ashley works at Atlassian, a calibration software maker on a mission to unleash the power of every team. Follow her on LinkedIn and Twitter at Ashley Faus. Now, remember, the clips of Ashley today are pulled from the full Marketing Smarts podcast episode. And if you want to listen to the full interview with Ashley Faus and myself, make sure to tune into the Marketing Smarts podcast. Link to the full show will be in the description below after the live show ends. That's right. All the right links in all the right places at just the right time. Now, in this episode, again, I'm talking with Ashley Faus about developing a content and social media strategy to foster, you guessed it, thought leadership for your business growth. Traditional marketing attribution is all about dashboards and metrics and how inbound affects the bottom line. But thought leadership, says Ashley Faus, is a different beast. It can't be measured using traditional methods. I hope you heard that part. So to get us started, I wanted to pick Ashley's brain about why is slowing down long enough to create a strategy around thought leader content so important for organizations. And this is what she had to share.
The big thing, two big things. One, humans are lazy and platforms are greedy, right? Most people, they don't come to you for the heck of it and to make you feel good. They come to you to get something for themselves. And so if you become that destination that they go to get something for themselves, then eventually there's going to be some sort of reciprocity. And so building that trust, building that affinity, that is the foundation. And so if you don't step back and know the value that you're giving to them, if you're just churning, you're only doing things for yourself, and your audience is too lazy for that. The second piece of this is that the platforms are greedy. The platforms don't want you to go anywhere else. LinkedIn wants you to stay on LinkedIn. Even your own website, you want people to stay on your website. You don't want them to go off and go somewhere else, unless the going somewhere else is to talk to a sales rep. But again, you still want to keep them in your own little ecosystem, right? So when you start to realize, okay, I'm going to have to fight for attention, not only from the humans that are consuming my content, but also from the platforms that are hosting or serving my content, you start to realize you need to suit up for that. You don't go into a battle with just your shorts and t-shirt. You got to put on some armor. You got to bring your weapons. And that requires some training. It requires some skills, and it requires some thinking. And that's where you start thinking about that strategy. So first is focus on that audience. What do they want? What do they need? How can you serve them? And then second is, okay, how am I going to win against all of the other things on the platform that are going to basically keep their attention on the platform, not even on my content?
OMG, most people are lazy and all platforms are greedy. Did you hear the important words infinity, trust, and reciprocity? Can you start to feel the importance of the fight for attention? I also love how Ashley talked about you have to suit up, get your cape and boots and your gloves ready. And again, the important words training, skills, and thinking. Do you have a strategy in place that gains infinity, trust, and reciprocity? Put the answer to that in the chat pane or let me know on Twitter using the hashtag MPB2B. And of course, tag me using @GeorgeB. Now, we'll get back to Ashley Faus and her thoughts on developing a content and social media strategy to foster thought leadership and business growth. But first, I have to ask, are you part of the Marketing Profs community? If not, become part of the Marketing Profs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. That's right, mprofs.com/MP today. Now, it's time for one of my favorite sections in the B2B news, where we talk about breaking B2B news or really important news tips that we find on Google News tab related to you and your B2B business. This week, the title is How to Do B2B Content Marketing the Right Way with 5 examples by Julia McCoy. Here we are over 2 decades into the 2000s, but bad B2B content marketing still exists. Digital content marketing has existed for at least 10 years, but some businesses still make elementary mistakes that wreck their potential for results. That's a shame because most content marketers, 71% by the way, will tell you that content has only become more important over time. Ready to see what content success and failure looks like? To read the article, check out the link below when the live show is over. That's right, all the right links in all the right places at just the right time. So let's go ahead and return to Ashley Faus and her Marketing Smarts podcast episode. Now that we know how important it is to have a strategy, how the heck do you get started? That is exactly what I wanted to ask Ashley next. And so as far as getting started, here you go.
That is a hard question, particularly for thought leadership, because so many people go to the goals, and usually those goals are around revenue. And I think that in many cases for thought leadership, you're going to have to abstract it a little bit away from revenue. My sense is that thought leadership is not meant to drive short-term sales. That's sales, and that's marketing, and that's product marketing, and that is by intent content. That is not what thought leadership is meant to do. Thought leadership is meant to attract the right people to the brand and the company. And that could be talent, that could be strategic partners, that could be for co-marketing opportunities, that could be for investor relations or to improve, analyst relations. There are a variety of things that you need to build from a trust perspective. And so when you look at your thought leadership, you need to be cognizant of which of those audiences are going to result in the short-term and long-term outcomes. Yes, ultimately, being a thought leader in your industry, being trusted, having that affinity across a variety of different audiences, that will ultimately lead to long-term business growth. But that is very different than short-term revenue. And I think that mindset shift is the big piece, because everybody I hear this all the time, oh, we're going to do thought leadership for a founder. Oh, are you? Well, what are they going to talk about? Well, they're going to talk about why our product is the best. And I'm like, so they're going to do sales enablement. No. I mean, it's a founder, therefore it's thought leadership. And I'm like, okay, let's go back here. Thought leadership is about trust and affinity. And you can drive those and measure those in different ways, depending on the audience, the platforms, the person. But if the ultimate outcome that you are measuring in the short term is some sort of revenue or sale, you're not doing thought leadership. That's a different kind of content. It should also be quality. It's also in your strategy, but it is not thought leadership.
So many people go to the goals, and often those go around revenue. Did you hear Ashley say that? Thought leadership is not designed to create short-term sales. It is meant to attract the right people to the brand and the company. And this could be more than leads. It could be talent. It could be a ton of folks. So much good stuff in that last clip. Hey, have you ever heard yourself or someone in or on your team say, we're going to do thought leadership content for ... Oh my, I love that part that Ashley was talking about. Now, we'll get back to Ashley Faus in a few minutes, but first, it's time for some dope B2B learnings from the vault of MarketingProfs articles. That's right, it's time to dig into the treasure trove of valuable information and pull out 2 pieces of gold to help you be a better B2B marketer. Article number 1 this week is So You Want to Be a Thought Leader? A framework and guide for your thought leadership strategy by none other than Ashley Faus. Thought leadership is not a new topic. In fact, the term was coined by Joel Kurtzman back in 1994. In the 2.5 decades since, we've seen the rise of YouTube experts, Instagram influencers, and, well, the Kardashians. But are all of those people thought leaders? Are any of them thought leaders? Find out more by reading this article after the live show ends. You know we've got all the links for you. Article 2 this week is how online thought leadership can transform you and your company into a trusted resource. This one by a dear friend of mine, David Meerman Scott. An effective online content strategy artfully executed drives action. Organizations that use online content will have a clearly defined goal to sell products, generate leads, or get people to join a community, vote, or donate money, and they deploy a content strategy that directly contributes to reaching that or those goals. Often people ask me, not me, David Meerman Scott, do you recommend that I create an effective blank, 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 fill in the blank with blog post, podcast, white paper, ebook, email, newsletter, webinar? I could keep going. While the technologies for each form of online content are a little different, the common aspect is that through all of these media types, your organization can exercise thought leadership rather than simple advertising and product promotion. A well-crafted blog, podcast, ebook, or webinar contributes to an organization's positive reputation by setting it apart in the marketplace of ideas. This form of content brands a company and the people that work there as experts and as a trusted resource to turn to again and again. That's where you want to be. Don't talk about your company at all. Okay, so what is your thought leadership and how do I do it? Might be the question you ask yourself. Well, to keep learning more, if so, check the links in the description below after the live show to get access to both amazing MarketingProfs articles. Okay, back to Ashley Faus. Let's dive back into this conversation of developing a content and social media strategy to foster thought leadership and business growth. One of the things I always like to ask the guest that I interview is what type of hurdles are going to get in the way? What will be the stopper to the success? And here's what Ashley had to say about the hurdles and today's topic of conversation.
I think the biggest thing is we are still stuck in a lot of the attribution mindset from 10 years ago. So before social media really became a place that individuals could own and that businesses could partner with individuals to improve and share and grow that audience, everything came back to and again, it was brilliant when it came out, when inbound, the methodology of fill out the form, be able to track it, nurture it, that sense that you wanted to bring people in, educate them, nurture them, and then sell to them. After you'd built that was super smart, a decade ago. HubSpot has, continued to evolve their own model, but a lot of marketers are still trying to implement that same measurement strategy and therefore the approach in their creation and their tactics from 10 years ago. And it's hard, right? Like your comment about you sent out that newsletter and you got a $12,000 PO or engagement. You can see that one click is worth $12,000, right? But I don't actually know what the click-through rate overall on the email was. And so if you were to send me that dashboard, it would not surprise me if it potentially had a lower click-through rate just because it was the holidays, right? A lower open rate and potentially a lower click to open rate. And so me, as an outsider, without that context, I might look at that and say, George, clearly this content didn't resonate, or clearly this was not your best email. But for you, you're like, no, literally, 1-to-1, literally it generated this much revenue, right? It's the same thing on social media. So I actually had somebody very kindly comment, I think I should make a folder on my desktop for all the posts that you've made that I think are valuable. And I was like, I jokingly said, if you could make that public, that would be amazing, right? It helps me so I don't have to do it. An hour later, he sends me a link to a Google Drive of all of this content that I've created that he has saved. I don't know how that gets, how do you measure that somebody has taken the time to screenshot or download or, link or whatever, and put all of the content that I created into a folder so that it's easily accessible for themselves? Where does that show up in the dashboard?
Are you stuck in the attribution mindset? Are you still doing historical inbound marketing, which sounds weird to call that historical? Or have you been able to evolve your measurement strategy? We're going to get some words of wisdom from Ashley Faus here in a few minutes, but right now it's time to turn the spotlight on you, the Marketing Profs community. Yep, time for some dope. Nope, not dope. Nope. Time for some from the hashtag MPB2B community. That's right. We searched far and wide in the hashtag MPB2B universe to find amazing information and conversations to bring to you, the masses. So first, make sure that you are using the hashtag. And second, make sure you have fun and add value to the community along the way. Then we'll spotlight you or your crew on the show. This week, it's Ian Jackson. That's right, Ian Jackson. You're on the show. Designer, coder, marketer, dare I say, Pokemon master. Ian's LinkedIn post went like this. Last week, I made a post showing off Adobe's new AI hashtag generative fill feature. Well, today I'm here to let you know that if you want more AI content, that MarketingProfs is putting on an 8-week online event focused on AI and content creation. Oh, it's going to be so good. It's so good. It's so good. You got to check it out. Find out. That wasn't, by the way, in this post. I added that part. Find out how, this is his post that I'm going back into. Find out how you can use AI to boost your productivity, your creativity, and something we all want to do, your career. Hashtag AI, hashtag content creation, hashtag MarketingProfs, hashtag, there's the magic one, hashtag MPB2B. But you need to check out the description and click that link to check out the post and also the link to the page Ian shared to learn more. Marketing Smarts viewers, I have to ask, are you going to be next to get the spotlight? Remember, community, use the hashtag MPB2B on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter and get the light shined on your awesomeness in the next episode or a future episode of the Marketing Smarts live show. Pro tip, it won't hurt if you tag me in your post as well. I'm at George B. Thomas on LinkedIn and Twitter. All right, let's kick it back to Ashley Faus and some words of wisdom around this topic of developing a content and social media strategy to foster thought leadership and your business growth. Here's what Ashley Faus wanted to leave us with pertaining to her words of wisdom.
I think the crux of this whole conversation, and for my practice of marketing, is to fall in love with the humans. And that is the humans that are consuming the content, the humans that are using your offerings, and the humans that are enabling the humans behind the screen. For me, if you can fall in love with the audience and fall in love with the humans behind the screen, that's where you really start to get the magic. Yes, there's numbers. Yes, there's revenue, all the things, right? But if you can fall in love with the humans, you're going to continue to see those other outcomes for years to come.
Can we just drop the mic? No, seriously, drop the mic. Fall in love with the humans. Have you fallen in love with the humans you are here on this planet to serve? Woo, magic things happen when the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Ladies and gentlemen, have you enjoyed today's journey? Let us know. Use that hashtag MPB2B on whatever platform you're joining us on. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Time flies when you're having fun. Head to that description below. Click on the link to the full Marketing Smarts podcast with Ashley Faus and keep on learning more about developing a content and social media strategy to foster thought leadership and business growth. Remember, these were just a few clips of the original Marketing Smarts podcast interview. If you got value from today's show, hit that like, and better yet, share with a friend. To keep learning more, hit subscribe or watch additional Marketing Profs videos on your favorite social channel, or head over to our YouTube channel if you're not there yet. Or you can go tune into the original Marketing Smarts podcast episode, of course, on your favorite podcast app, whichever one that is. Don't forget to become part of the Marketing Profs community by heading over to mprofs.com/MP today. And as always, remember to be a happy, helpful, humble B2B marketing human. And we'll see you on the next episode of the Marketing Smarts live show next week.